Okay, welcome back everybody. I gotta do this really quick because I'm not feeling the greatest right now. I don't think I have COVID, I just have a sore throat, that's it. If I do, it's very mild. But I didn't make a video, an art video, and it's time for the art video to be going out. So I'm gonna make an art video. But it's just gonna be a quick tutorial thing like I said I was gonna be doing these next 2 months. So I'm just gonna be showing you guys how to do coloring of line art, because it's very simple and easy to explain. We can even do this too. I'll talk about markings with it as well. Don't worry about this right now. I'm just getting everything black so we can work on it, because I'm just working off the finished picture here that I have, that I've done a while ago. Some of you might have already seen it, so. Okay, so what I do for this, why isn't that showing up as dark? Oh, maybe it's just because there's thinner lines. What I do for this normally is I have things on different layers, as you guys can see, down in where my mouse is right now. I'm currently on the eyes and mouth. How you set up your layers really depends on how you want to do your picture itself. It can be any way you want. It is just whatever is easier for you, and I find that keeping the eyes and the mouth, which is the teeth and the tongue, separate makes it a little bit easier, because sometimes you get things too close together that you just don't want to use. So what I do is I normally like to have at least one set of the shadows put in already. And you may notice it may be hard to see, but in some cases there's two different colors of shadows. That's because there was originally a different color for the shadows, and I just covered it over in black just for this example. I always, for this part, which may or may not be the best way, I just do the shadows in black, and then I can change their color later, much like what we're gonna do for— oh yeah, you guys can't see as much, sorry. Let me just do that, there we go. Much like what we're gonna do for the line art here, you can do the same thing with the shadows later to change their color, and that's what I do. So what we're going to do is we want to make sure that we're on the inking layer, which I think you guys can see. I don't need to zoom up again. And we're going to take— I like to have the shadows. Let me first bring the shadows where it is. And I put the shadows to 50%, even if I'm not going to keep them there. That's what I do for this part of it. And then I take the eyedropper tool, or whatever you want to call it, and I take that color of the 50% darker version. Now you can already color the shadows and do it that way. That probably works just as good, if not better, for this, but this is what I'm doing for this now. So yeah, then you go back to the layer that has inking. I will zoom up for this part. Okay. And you see how it has this little lock box with the sort of like pixel symbol beside it? Or transparent pixel sort of thing beside it? With that unlocked, this is what it will do. Let me just change back. So we're going to do her shoulder here, and with it unlocked, this is what it does, right? You can just do anything. We don't want that. Okay, that's really messy and gross and nobody wants to look at that. Undo. But if we lock that, we'll bring it back up for a second. If we lock that, the pixels, it could be called lock transparent pixels, which is what it's called here. Look for something close to this, or and then just like hover your mouse over things, they'll tell you. If it says lock transparent pixels or anything close to that, then you know you got the right thing. And so if you lock the transparent pixels now it will not color anything that is not already colored on this layer. So it stays right within that layer. And this can come in handy for several things. Like I said, doing the shadows later, it will come in handy for that. It could come in handy if you were doing, I think I used it also for when doing the rocks in the background here, because it won't go outside that area. There's a few different ways of doing that. I'm so tired. I'm not that sick, I promise. I sound worse than I am, I think. But yeah, so then you just color along, and I'm using my mouse right now as opposed to my tablet. I can get a better quality with my tablet. And you can pick whatever color you want. When it comes to picking the color, that's just what I do. There are situations, like if the character has like black mane or something like that, or black hair normally, or just depending on what you're trying to create, but black is one of those popular ones where this happens. And you might then want to change the color of the line art to a different color. Oops, I kind of went out there, it doesn't matter. You can make it as light or as dark as you want. When you're dealing with black a lot of times, because you can't get any darker than black, sometimes you still want to show off other colors within that area. And I normally don't use pure black for any of my characters themselves just because of that, but whether you do or don't, it still is another way of adding. Or even if you wanted to have, like, say there was like something here that was like glowing and you wanted to have her show the glow on her through the line art, you can do it that way. Different programs can do different things. For example, this one here, I don't know, I think I need the marker for it. Yeah, okay, so here, I need a larger brush. Whoops, that's not what I want to do. Larger brush. So like, for example, here I can make this glow more. And then the more I go over top of it, the more it's gonna glow. Kind of give it that look, you know. You know, it might be neater in the eyes. Let me go back up to the eyes, just change the layer that I have. Except it's underneath the shadow, so it won't show as a glow too much. But yeah, you can get the idea that way. But yeah, it sticks within the same area for the pixels kind of thing. It stays within that area. It's different from something like clip to layer below, which is what I'll show you guys next week. I don't want to make this too long because you can probably tell I'm sick, so I don't really want to be doing this. But you can do the same thing with the shadow. Like, say we want to change the shadows to be blue or green. We're already on green. Let's do green. Yeah, that looks creepy. Now their shadows are all green because the transparent pixels thing is locked. So now they're all green. You can do it dark green so it looks more realistic. There. So that's what I do afterwards. I start with black because it's easier to work with and it's easy to see exactly what I need when I'm doing black. But when the picture is getting ready to be done, I can then check from the background. And sometimes I'll take a color from the background. Not all the time, but sometimes. And I'll make that just darken it, and I make that the shadows of the characters, which I think I did in this case. I have two sets of shadows for the final thing. That's the final picture, sort of. Oh yeah, also, because I was talking about markings, same thing can be done with the markings, except instead of using the shadows, I use the actual color itself. Oops, let me just get back to my regular. And then I go onto the layer where it has markings. This layer was used to make sure that I have nice smooth markings. So now, instead of just erasing these lines, like I can just do that, but I like to, it gives them a little bit nicer, more crisp look to it if you just use the same effect and color it the same color as the markings themselves. Kind of thing. Oops. And then, there we go. So yeah, you guys can see what I'm doing, right? But yeah, I thought I'd just let you guys know that's one way of doing things. You can find your own things with it. This is a pretty simple concept, yet it took me a long time to realize that it existed. But it's really helped, especially when it comes to coloring line art, if you're somebody who likes to color line art. Anyway, my throat is sore, so I'm gonna go, and I hope that you guys maybe learned a little something. Like I said, next week we're gonna talk about, not next week, sorry, but the next time I do one of these videos, which will be in about 2 weeks, we're gonna talk about clipping to the layer below, dealing with shadows and other stuff. But I'll probably use the same picture for it, unless I have something else I want to use. So we'll see this picture again, except it will be the actual picture. I'm not going to save this, so... Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I better go. Bye-bye!